Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. Team discovers clues that a Viking ship may be the ship buried in the swamp. The Curse of Oak Island team has found evidence that the ship thought to be buried in the swamp is a Viking ship, and that the Vikings helped the Templar Knights bring treasure to the island. Time is running out for this season of Oak Island, and there's already an end-of-semester feel about the last couple of episodes. However, Rick Lagina and the guys have gathered some great data on their field trip to Europe. The guys have been attempting to retrace the path Templar Knights may have taken through Europe on their way to Oak Island. They have visited Italy, the Netherlands, Denmark, and finally, Iceland. Last night, the team visited a Viking ship museum in Iceland and had the opportunity to stand on a recreated Viking ship. The ship's builder informed the guys that this type of vessel was first built in the 11th century, but would still be used in the 13th century, which is the time period the Templars would have built the money pit. Interestingly, this ship was a cargo vessel and could have transported up to about 20 tons. Corjan Mole asked the million-dollar question, to which the shipbuilder assured him that this vessel could have sailed to Canada. He also pointed out that the Vikings had been using sail ships to travel longer and longer distances since the 8th century. Oak Island's swamp artifact matched the Viking ship. Doug Crowell then noticed a piece of wood attached to the ship's side near the bow. This plank looked almost exactly like the so-called ship's railing the guys found in the swamp in 2020. At the time, that piece was carbon dated to the 8th century. The guys have long suspected a ship lies buried in the swamp. They have often speculated that it could be a Spanish galleon, but perhaps Doug has now spotted evidence that it is a Viking ship. The team also examined an Old Norse manuscript from the medieval ages that featured symbols found in Nova Scotia and Templar strongholds across Europe, such as the four-dotted cross. These symbols also match those found on an artifact discovered last year on Lot 8, which an expert had previously suggested could be Viking in origin. This all adds to the mounting evidence that Vikings visited Oak Island. Finally, in Iceland, the guys were shown a human-made cave from the 9th century that featured a cross carved into the wall. This cross was the exact configuration of the lead cross found by Gary Drayton, which dates to between 1200 and 1600 and is thought to be of Templar origin. The Oak Island team slowly and surely believes that Templars and Vikings were both on Oak Island in the 12th century and were likely burying treasure there. Oak Island team suspects whoever built Lot 5 structure also created the money pit. Meanwhile, back on Oak Island, archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan examined clay samples taken from the money pit area and the two sites on Lot 5. Emma found that samples from Lot 5 matched those taken from deep within the money pit. The Lot 5 structure was filled in and covered up before the money pit was first discovered in 1795. This means whoever was at Lot 5 was most likely deeply involved in constructing the money pit. Unfortunately, the clock is ticking, and only one episode remains for Season 11. However, fans expect the team to keep pushing right up until the very end. The Curse of Oak Island had long intrigued treasure hunters and historians alike. Legends spoke of hidden riches, from pirate gold to the lost artifacts of the Knights Templar. But no one had anticipated the latest revelation, the discovery that a Viking ship might lie buried in the swamp. Rick and Marty Lagina, the tenacious brothers leading the search, stood at the edge of the swamp, their eyes scanning the murky water. The latest excavation had unearthed a series of wooden planks that, according to their expert, matched the construction techniques of ancient Norse shipbuilders. Could it really be a Viking ship? Marty mused aloud, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. The thought seemed almost too fantastical to be true, yet the evidence was compelling. The team gathered around as Dr. Anna Sorensen, a renowned archaeologist and expert in Viking history, examined the planks. Her eyes widened with excitement as she studied the markings and the unique method of construction. "There is no doubt," she announced. "These planks were part of a Viking longship, likely dating back to the 10th century." A murmur of astonishment rippled through the group. The swamp, long thought to be a natural formation, might actually be the final resting place of a Viking vessel. But how had it ended up on Oak Island, thousands of miles from the Scandinavian homeland? To answer this question, the team delved into the island's history, searching for any connections to the Norse explorers. They discovered that the Vikings had ventured far across the Atlantic, reaching the shores of North America centuries before Columbus. The saga spoke of their voyages to Vinland, a mysterious land rich with resources. Could Oak Island have been a part of this legendary Vinland? The possibility sent a thrill of excitement through the team. They decided to focus their efforts on uncovering the ship. Days turned into weeks as they carefully excavated the swamp, their anticipation growing with each new find. The outline of the ship began to take shape, and with it, fragments of Norse artifacts. A piece of a broken sword, a tarnished brooch, and a weathered runestone. The runestone, in particular, fascinated Dr. Sorensen. She deciphered its inscriptions, revealing a message that seemed to speak across the centuries. "Here lies the treasure of Eric the Red." The discovery hinted at a dramatic tale of exploration and possibly a hidden hoard of riches. Rick and Marty could hardly contain their excitement. "If this is true," Rick said, "we're not just looking at a Viking ship. We might be standing on top of a treasure trove left by one of the most famous Viking explorers." The team's work intensified. As they dug deeper, they uncovered more clues that hinted at a Viking presence on the island. A stone cairn, arranged in a style typical of Norse burial sites, suggested that some of the crew might have met their end here. The remains of what appeared to be a Norse settlement began to emerge, complete with longhouses and tools. The island's history seemed to be rewriting itself with each new discovery. Local historians and scholars were brought in to piece together the narrative. They speculated that the Vikings, led by Eric the Red or one of his descendants, might have established a temporary outpost on Oak Island. The swamp, they theorized, could have been created when the ship was deliberately sunk to protect it and its cargo from rival explorers or hostile natives. The team's excitement was palpable, but so were the challenges. The swamp's treacherous conditions made excavation difficult, and the constant threat of flooding loomed over their efforts. Despite these obstacles, the Lagina brothers and their team pressed on, driven by the possibility of uncovering a historical treasure of immense value. One day, as the team was carefully extracting a section of the ship's hull, they made a startling discovery. Hidden within the wooden planks was a small chest, sealed and remarkably well preserved. With bated breath, they pried it open, revealing its contents, a collection of silver coins, intricately carved jewelry, and a map. The map, drawn on animal skin, depicted a route leading from the shores of Scandinavia to the distant land of Vinland, with Oak Island marked as a significant stop. But there was more. The map hinted at another hidden location, deeper within the island, marked with a symbol that resembled a Viking rune for wealth. The discovery reignited the team's fervor. The map suggested that the ship in the swamp was just one part of a larger puzzle. As they followed its clues, they uncovered a series of underground tunnels and chambers, ingeniously constructed to protect their secrets.